Is Blood on the Leaves the best song on Yeezus?
Yeah, definitely.
Osei?
Yeah, I like Hold My Liquor though.
I'm the same way. My favorite is probably Hold My Liquor, but the best is undoubtedly Blood on the Leaves, right?
Yes. Guilt Trip is up there though. Hold my leaves, Hold My Liquor, Blood on the Leaves, and Guilt Trip are probably the top. Bound 2 though.
Bound 2 is a classic.
Bound 2 though.
Is it weird if I say I like New Slaves?
Yeah.
I can't, right? Because
No, you should. I think that makes sense.
I felt really weird because I was listening to all Yeezus with Caden on this car ride, right? And I'm like, the song came on, and I do really like that song. Like, I find it really sonically incredible. And like, I was like, oh, this is my shit. And then he like starts rapping, and I'm like, that didn't really hit. That kind of came off wrong, saying this is my shit. Like that didn't feel right.
Nah, bro. I think that's the greatness of Kanye right there. I think he's forever making white people uncomfortable because y'all love it. Like y'all are always gonna want to play that song, but just think about it.
Right.
Layers to it.
Right. I definitely felt the layers more than I did when I was 13 and that came out.
You know what
when
I'm saying?
I was 13, I was like, this shit's fire.
I was terrified of that. The music video with the KKK niggas in the back.
Scary.
I was like, yo, what is this nigga on, bro? Kanye, the art shit, I didn't understand it for a minute. I'm not gonna lie. Yeezus was an album that took me like probably a year or two before I even gave it a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
It was scary art.
It's greatness. It's greatness. I think on some days you could catch me and I'd say it's his best work.
Is it? I think it might be.
I don't think it. After doing a full discography re-listen, I don't think it is. But like, it's up there.
Dark
like,
Fantasy is his best work.
It probably is his
Dark
best work.
Fantasy
It's
is
just
the
such a
right
boring answer, and I like to be different.
I think you could argue Dark Fantasy or College Dropout as his best work, to me, honestly. Just because there's so many classics on College Dropout.
College Dropout is my answer.
That's
Just because
my
I don't want to be
favorite Kanye
basic
album.
and say Twisted Fantasy. But on the re-listen, I was like, yo, Life of Pablo could stand up to anything in his discography.
It's really good. It's really good.
Life of
just,
Pablo. Go ahead.
It was just a weird era because he kept changing it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that's part of its greatness. Also, he had one of the craziest like shows ever with that I forget what it was called, but obviously like all the models, you know what I'm saying? MSG. You know what I'm talking about?
It was MSG when he rented out.
MSG, he's got that classic clip
That's the
with
Cudi
Kid Cudi.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like I don't think who else has done a fashion show in MSG like that?
No, that was probably the Life of
That's
Pablo.
definitely a one-on-one
Life of
moment.
Pablo fucked up Rollouts forever. Rollouts would never be the same because it was all over the place, heinous, last minute, very unorganized. But Kanye was just in his bag so crazy. He made every mistake look like it was damn near intentional. Because niggas forget, he uploaded the album, then was changing mixes for the next couple of days. I think weeks
Changing
even.
songs too.
Yeah,
like there were songs that switched.
he put out an unfinished album, but niggas didn't care because when that beat dropped for fucking Ultralight Beam and Cudi was going crazy and that whole stadium was rocking, nothing ever captured that. We were all huddled around a phone at a lunch table watching that shit. Like,
Right.
That's what made me fall in love with music.
Well, I'm kind of with it. It's like, why else do we have streaming? Like, we always talk about the negatives of streaming, taking the art away from the artist, whatever. But like, I feel like he actually utilized it in a correct way, in the right way.
I think
he took advantage of it.
The worst thing that ever happened to these niggas was them getting hold of the word aura. Because now niggas all want to try to manufacture that shit. These niggas used to really just have that energy, bro. You know what I mean? Like Kanye is like, that was a real artist, bro. I feel like that was a naturally occurring moment that just happened because that nigga was on some fly shit. I feel like so much of the shit today is so calculated almost to like it takes away from that magic.
Yeah, I was very disconnected from that statement because I feel like the term aura is like a newer thing.
But
you icked me.
It's the
when you
trying
said
to be
aura.
cool. No, but I'm
I
saying,
turned my ears
but
off.
that's what I'm saying. They made it not cool because now everyone's trying. Like niggas used to actually just be cool.
Yeah.
Now they put a term to it.
You know what else is so great about Life of Pablo that I don't know if I ever actually like really realized is I think he was definitely a massive trendsetter in the like hidden feature thing, right? Like not listing your features. And like now today everybody does it on drop to incentivize whole album listens, but like then they reveal the features like a week later and put it on DSPs.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
You still don't see the features on Life of Pablo. And I'd like, if he would have put features on that, you're seeing Rihanna, Frank Ocean, Post Malone, The Weeknd, Ty Dolla $ign. You're seeing Sia. You know what I'm saying? Like Kendrick Lamar, Kid Cudi. Like that is like the best feature list ever that just like people don't realize how many goats are on that album with him.
But again, the cynic in me is like, Kanye has a whole album full of crazy people, so he's doing it just so people will like probably pay attention and listen. I feel like now it feels.
I don't even think that's why he's doing it. I don't think he gives a fuck. I think he thought this person is going to add to the art of this song.
Yeah.
And so like I don't want to make this about, oh, I got Kendrick Lamar on this song, or oh, I have Sia doing the bridge on Wolves.
Sure.
He's like, yo, this is just an incredible song.
I agree.
It's my song.
Whatever. I think it's artistic when Kanye does it. Now I feel like niggas are doing it for like streams.
Agreed.
Like I feel like that's corny to me. Like
Agreed.
just put the features on there, but it is.
Or just hide them and don't ever put them on there.
Yeah, if you're gonna hide it, I think you should hide it forever. Like when they bring it back, it's like, what are you doing backtracking? But
Did Travis put the Astroworld features on? I think he did, right?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't
matter.
It doesn't fucking matter. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Industry Plans.
What is good? Episode 163.
Back at y'all, man. After a small hiatus this time, we did 1 week off. One week off, man. How y'all been living?
Who are we?
Oh shit. I'm Miles. This is Spencer to my left and Osei to my right, and our names matter. Follow us on Instagram. Do all the things, bro. How have you guys been living?
I've been so good, bro. I can't even lie. I've been living life.
You have a new addition to your family.
I have a new son named Coda the cat. Not named after Coda the friend. Don't get it twisted. Named after the Brother Bear.
Okay.
That's way better.
I guess.
Coda the friend corny. Brother Bear classic.
I'm skeptical of all cats, but I'll be nice to yours.
Yeah.
I'm happy you have a new family member. You know, it's
I
gonna
had
be a
a
member of the podcast.
pretty crazy like pickup story from him.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. Like we had 6 cats because we were doing like a trade for the dealer. So the dealer had us. I need to stop calling it a dealer. The breeder had us pick 6 cats up from Manhattan Beach and drive them up to the Bay. And so we were talking about Kanye, but on the ride up, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna make like a litter of super kittens."
Yeah.
And so we played the entire Kanye West discography. So the first thing these kittens are hearing out their cat womb is all of Kanye's discography. And then we drop them off. When we go pick up our cat, we go, and immediately as I get to the house of the breeder is getting like shuttled off in a stretcher into an ambulance. Like she's getting taken to the emergency room. And so she FaceTimes us from the ambulance.
This would only happen to you.
It was crazy. She FaceTimes us from the ambulance. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I fell last night. I've been lying on the floor for 8-9 hours. The ambulance, my neighbor finally checked up on me and the ambulance is taking me to the emergency room. You're going to have to just go recover your cat.
Yes.
He's in the house. Go find him. I need to get back to my extremely critical medical condition."
Clearly.
And so we walk inside this breeder's house, bro.
Did she call you or did you call her?
She called us.
Okay, good.
Because we pulled up just like, what's going on?
I would expect you to call the lady while you saw her getting carted off. Like, hey, I'm here now.
We see an ambulance and we're like, let's just give it a second.
Y'all would have turned around like you did all that driving.
No. But we're like, let's let the ambulance clear out because I don't think our mission is as important as theirs right now.
100%.
You know. And so she's like, go find the cat. And so we walk in this breeder's house and there's probably 40, 50 cats running around everywhere. House full of cats, food on the floor, treats everywhere. We have no idea which one is ours.
Yes.
So and you know cats, they be hiding, especially from people they don't know.
I guess.
And so we're wandering through this lady's like messy cat breeder house, like trying to find our cat for like an hour.
And then you find the one.
We finally found it. We called the breeder and we're like, "Yo, I know you got some shit going on right now, but where's our cat? We don't know which one it is."
That's a great start to your journey though. You know what I mean? I feel like when you first meet your animal, you have to kind of have that connection. Like you really found the one that you had the connection with.
Right.
Because you could have came up on any cat.
I know.
In that situation, you know what I mean? You could have just been like, this one looks like it's the most expensive. I want it.
No, facts. And I was thinking about it because I saw a brown cat that initially I thought was the one that we had purchased, but it looked hella dumb. Like it had like its tongue out. It was like a little cross-eyed. It looked like there was like something wrong with it. And I was like, "Yo, if that's Coda, we're going to get a different Coda.
We don't need that one.
You know what I mean? We're going to go pick something else."
I mean, Osei, I don't think you got a new pet in your life, but how have you been living?
Nah, man, I've been living good, bro. I just turned 29.
You know what I'm saying? Happy belated,
We'll
man. We was outside celebrating, let's say.
Yeah, I just turned 29. Did a really cool event, Sexy and Sad. Honestly, had the most RSVPs like I've ever had for an event, which is really dope too.
Drop the number. How many?
Come on.
I think we ended up at 669.
Sold out dates, fuck nigga.
Hey,
669.
come on,
so
come
almost 700 people RSVP'd, and we definitely had like at least 300 in there at all times. You feel me?
It was packed.
It was definitely packed. It was a good event. The lineup was fire. Shout out Go-Go. Shout out Burner. Shout out Sarah. Shout out Sean. Like, I just feel like the whole lineup was stacked. The music was good all night. The drinks were very strong. I don't know. It was basically a walkthrough. Like I was there for like 2 hours and I left because I was like, I'm too drunk.
Osei had us outside, man. We all had a good time. The pictures were hilarious to see. I think the pictures told a very accurate story of the night.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. You know, to those people with access to those, definitely tap into that. It was a great event for sure.
I looked through that Google Drive and I was like, my assessment was correct.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't my best self tonight.
Oh, yeah. Bro, guys, every time I see pictures from an event, I'm just like, sunglasses. always the right decision.
No, but you had something
Never-
going on. You got posted at least. I looked at my other and I'm like, I'm not getting posted. And sure enough, whoever runs the radio's dead account.
Nah, you know, I make an appearance on Radio's Dead every now and again. You know, I'm always honored for that. I've been meditating, bro.
Really?
Trying to stay calm.
What kind of meditation?
You know, I really just think music has always been something that's in my headphones. I've always wanted to hear some shit. You know, I watch a lot of podcast content. So just sitting in silence, you know, that's been a big thing for me, and just really trying to not even think about anything, like almost empty my head of all thoughts, you know, because I'm trying not to be so quick to anger, because a lot of things have been pissing me off recently.
Yeah.
You know, and Jack Harlow, he took the time to delve into some of my favorite things. If you know, and you've seen Jack Harlow walking around in the Kango hat and the clear Cartier frames, he just dropped his new album, Monica.
Yes, he did.
And at first, I want to say, I came into the album with high expectations just because of the name Monica. I assumed it might be from his mother. I assumed it might be a woman that he loved.
How much do you know about Jack Harlow?
What do you mean?
First, high expectations is crazy.
No.
Second,
Hey,
that's definitely not his mom's name.
I didn't know.
Well, because you were the one that when we talked about most anticipated albums of 2026, you were like, you know, I can't lie, I'm really got to hear what Jack Harlow
Exactly.
talking about.
Y'all niggas,
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
don't understand.
You were on that.
I know Jack Harlow is the Great White Hope. I know
He's
that Jack
not.
Harlow, he was. Y'all dubbed him that. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Because we all seen when Drake went to Kentucky and saw the horses.
No.
And Drewski was in the video and niggas was talking about him, and then he dropped the fucking what's the last song that was going the Whips and Chains one that everyone was going crazy about for the.
But isn't Spencer more qualified to tell you who the Great White Hope was?
Thank you. There's so many topics on this podcast. So I need to sit up here and zip my lips. But who the Great White Hope is something I
Jack
can talk
Harlow
about.
was not the most poppin' white rapper 3 years ago. Before he took his hiatus.
Most poppin' white rapper 3 years ago. Yeah, most poppin'.
When he took his hiatus.
He's most poppin'.
Exactly.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
But that don't mean he's the Great White Hope.
There was money put behind Jack Harlow. I knew that. I knew that there was an investment in Jack Harlow. I think we all saw that. So I knew that Jack Harlow was finna come out with this next project, and there was expectations. I think that I want to enjoy music. I never want someone to disappoint me. You know what I mean? He seemed like a nice enough guy. I had no beef with Jack Harlow. Wasn't listening to his music. I'm not over here playing the slaps. But he was a fine enough person. He didn't make me mad. And then he decided to make an R&B album.
And then he got blacker.
And then he got blacker. I'm not even gonna go to the interview yet. That was the dumbest thing any nigga has ever said when they got a mic put in front of their face in a room full of white niggas. That shit pissed me off. I'm just gonna talk about the music right now because that in of itself is a mistake. Jack, you can't sing. And to attempt to sing and have an appreciation for R&B is totally fine. You know what I mean? I love when artists in general, it doesn't even just have to be a rapper, expand your taste, be experimental, try things. But I think when you do something so devoid of feeling and emotion, and you're trying to make an album about love, about women, about these things that are so inherently full of emotion and these things, you had too many talented people in the room, and I would assume we're consuming too much art from previous greats. He was in Electric Lady Studios in New York, where a lot of historical albums in this, I don't want to call this album R&B or neo soul because that feels like it would be disrespectful to the genre, but I think he was around spaces where that music was being created properly. And
I mean, Electric Lady is where all of the fucking not only D'Angelo but Jay Dilla. That's like Soulquarians, like where the whole neo soul movement was recorded. Even though Raphael City did get up on mics a week ago and say
neo soul is not a thing.
Stop talking about neo soul.
Hey, so let's call it R&B soul, whatever you want to call it. That wasn't what you were doing, and I feel like some of the people in the room know that. And I'll let you guys explain how you feel about the album, but the production was great. Everything around the album was great, but Jack, I feel like what you delivered missed the mark for me.
Yeah, I'll start off. I would love to say I'm very happy to come on this podcast and say I was early, because while you were saying that about Jack Harlow, Great White Hope, whatever, next up, I was saying, hey, I don't like how this dude is trying to be accepted so badly. Like, I feel like the string of singles he dropped after the Whips and Chains song was just like,
can we call it Lovin' on Me?
Lovin' on Me. Whatever it's called, man.
After
I don't even know what it's called, bro. I'm not even there with him. You feel me? Like, every single song he dropped after that was lackluster, and it was him trying to prove he can rap. And I don't think that Jack Harlow is the most talented rapper. I don't. He wants to be accepted as that. I never felt that way. So I'm glad when this dropped because I was like, okay, a little twist. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to do something different. I saw R&B and soul. I was like, oh, could be interesting. Not the person I want to hear this from, but fuck it. Kick the feet up. Let's listen. Bro, one song in, I was already unimpressed, man. I was already unimpressed because I feel like Jack Harlow simply doesn't have the voice to deliver. I think we've already talked about that on the reaction, the review, all that. But
go watch it.
Oh yeah, I'll just double down and be like, I really feel like it was a misstep because his voice just wasn't powerful enough to match the production on this. And I think the I Got Blacker thing was what set off the whole Twitter debate and all that shit. But like realistically, the music is subpar as well. So
yeah, what I think separated this because I was going in expecting just to be like, oh, another Jack Harlow album I'm not gonna listen to. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Like I don't think since maybe in high school I was into some of the earlier backpacky stuff when he was just getting on, but since then I haven't like been a big fan. But I didn't expect to be so enraged by an album. Yeah. And I think I was enraged because of how good the songs were.
Yeah, the music behind it.
Yeah, like the writing and the music behind it, the production, the progressions, everything about it. I was like, they're like not all of them, but there's 4 or 5 really great songs on there if you give them to anyone else.
There were moments.
But like Jack was ruining them. Like these are good songs and Jack just had nothing. He had no sauce in his voice. How are you gonna make a soul album without a soulful voice?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will say, let's give him credit. All of My Friends was good.
I like that song.
That's a good song.
Well, because it finally that was like a crossover song.
Yeah,
like that's not a full R&B soul song. That's like a pop R&B pop soul song.
That's where that pocket is where he belongs, bro. He's a hit maker, bro. Just make radio hits.
Well, and then that's also why I think like, and again, I agree with all of your sentiments towards the music. You know, I think everything around it from a production standpoint, all of that was good. I think some of the writing was good, but what ruins everything was the interview, and why that is so important is because it reeked of overconfidence. And now I hear that in the music. How, like, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you think that you could do this? Why would you think that this is a lane that you can attempt? You know what I mean? These stripped back songs that are so, it is so required on the type of music that he was attempting to make to have a good voice. Why do you think someone who has never attempted to sing before can do the shit that D'Angelo did? You know what I mean? Like it was arrogant. It was so arrogant to me. And I didn't even hate the album that much or every song that much on the first listen. But then hearing him talk about what inspired it more and how he wanted to make it and him being in these spaces and like just, I don't know, he took up space. He took up too much space.
I got a real question for you though. Because I don't know if people are just discovering this, but you're talking about arrogant and just other words of that nature. Like, when has Jack Harlow not displayed that? To me, his whole career, he's displayed that. I feel like people are just finding out.
I disagree.
He's always making weird jokes like that, in my opinion. And he's always walking that line, too.
But he seemed like...
He just said the wrong thing.
No.
At the wrong time.
I think that Jack Harlow has always been associated and around black people. And if you look at what his fans say and like what people kind of have photographed him as, like, yeah, he doesn't attempt like all his whole crew is black, but he is cool with the ESTGs of the world. And when you hear them talk about Jack, it's like, no, Jack is really down with people around the city, gives back to the community, the hood, all of that stuff. So I think Jack Harlow pissed me off because I don't think that he was ever looking like he seemed like he was paying his dues, being a decent person. You know, he wasn't doing anything stupid. And you could make those jokes in good faith because I think he was building that up with the community. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't seem like he was being malicious with any of the shit he was doing before, to me. Like, did any of that, like, you know, he just seemed like a guy.
Well, you talk about being arrogant and you talk about like saying certain statements. I think especially when he stands next to Drewski, like that was always very clear to me.
But I think Jack was also self-deprecating to an extent too. And like did seem like, you know what I mean? He wasn't afraid to make a joke on himself. Yeah. Which is totally fine. I think that is what people found charming about him. You know, he seemed down to earth. I don't think, and that was something, I think Jack Harlow to me did always kind of seem down to earth. He always was like, he was a Kentucky guy, you know what I mean? Because the Jackman album, while I didn't like it, I did respect being like, you just got all the big numbers and the fame and all that stuff, and you made a backpack rap album that people probably aren't gonna fuck with as much.
You're like, I got friends too.
No, that was a bad song. That's one of the worst songs I've ever heard.
It didn't mean to laugh, just unexpected.
But it's the same. But it's the same as even what I was saying at the beginning of the R&B album. It's like I do respect an artist taking that creative leap and trying to do something different. It's just like, then when you're explaining why you did it after, it kind of sours all that to me.
I respect creative leaps. I just feel like when you talked about the point of arrogance, Jack Harlow to me has always been arrogant.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah,
and that's fair.
I think a big problem with the album is its lack of any sort of like real inspiration. Like it's so devoid of meaning and purpose. It truly was like, oh, I like D'Angelo, I'm gonna make something that sounds like it. And I think you get that when you're watching the interview and they ask him, why did you name it Monica? Because it's something that we talked about too, where it's like, oh, is this his mom, someone in his family? Is this, and he's like, man, I just always liked that name.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, there is no purpose behind this. You're just trying to make this kind of album. You're like, nothing inspired you to make this album besides just liking this music.
And I think the statements also too made in the interview also, like, I think the backdrop and the way he was quote unquote like decorating around this project also were pretty egregious too.
Yes.
And like made those statements worse because the Kangol hat has been like the signature.
Yeah.
But like there's other shit that he was doing that just made it so much worse for him when this interview did come out.
We're gonna go in on the interview too in a second. One thing that also made everything worse was when you go back 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I don't know the exact time frame, but he did an interview with Big Boy or Sway, and he didn't know that Ray J and Brandy were brother and sister. And then the interviewer goes on to play a bunch of classic R&B songs, and Jack Harlow's like, I've never heard any of these. And it's just like, oh yeah, but then when you see this album roll, I love R&B music.
Right.
And I'm a fan of all this. It sounds like, and I heard someone say this, I'm stealing this, a nigga said that it looks like he just saw Love Jones for the first time. And it's just kind of building off the characters, you know what I mean? And that's, hey, I don't know. We did get excellent Black Twitter content from this though. And I do want to read out some of the amazing names that people came up with for R&B Jack Harlow. I loved Musiq Stolchild.
The best.
That took
That's the best
everything.
one.
That took everything. There was Ninth Wonder Bread.
Crazy.
Incredible. Charlie Kirk Franklin.
That shit made me giggle.
That one made me laugh a little bit.
In the same lane, we have Neo-Nazi.
That was bad. that one fried me when I saw that.
Over the edge.
Yo, for my NBA fans, Luka Vandross going crazy. Uncommon Thought. I love it for the Kangol hats.
Uncommon Thought is so funny.
Bro. We also have White Thought.
White Thought.
And then Ghostface Vanilla.
Ghostface Vanilla's nasty.
LL Cool Whip. Yo.
That's actually in my top 5, I feel like.
Yeah, bro.
LL Cool
Keep
Whip.
it simple.
You know, niggas have been frying him, bro. I think Black Twitter has had a field day with this, and that is, it's nice to see when we unify against something. Like, I see what you're doing, and I don't think any of us like it, and we just kind of make fun of it. Because it is like, this shit can make you mad, and it doesn't have to, you know?
Wait, you forgot my favorite one. Honky, honky, honky. Like Tony.
Bro,
IRS one.
Bro, IRS one got me. IRS one, I had to read that one twice. I was like, that was good. That was.
Can I say on here?
No.
Oh, my bad. Take it out, editor.
Damn, why is it?
Cut it out, editor.
We always skip them.
always, bro. Always.
Speaking of the state of music media.
Oh my god. Hey, bro. Popcast, right? Like, I think they're smart. I think they're well educated, well read, have clearly been in the game for a very long time. I never, ever want to hear their commentary on Black music. That's just me personally. If you look at the two guys that run the podcast, one of them, I'm going to mispronounce your name. I'm sorry, John Cabanara, is the one who calls himself a music critic. And the other one calls himself just a more traditional journalist. And the interview with Jack Harlow pissed me off because for them to be asking these questions and for them to be giggling about the I got blacker thing in a space that is so safe for them, you know, it made me really think, like, would Jack have felt comfortable making that joke if he was being interviewed by a Black person?
No, which is why I feel like he should have gone on like R&B Money or something like that.
Exactly.
Not that he could have, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
I mean, but I'm trying to think of this not from the position of like what Jack Harlow should have done, but like what was better for the overall music climate. And like, don't you think, you said when you listened to the interview, you got this sense of overconfidence that now when you're going back to the album was there the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think, obviously the interview was bad for Jack, but don't you think it kind of pointed out a lot of the problems with this album for everyone? Like, I feel like this interview hurt the album in a good way.
For certain people. I think the misguided viewer is going to like it and think that Jack came off as down to earth still. I think that Black people aren't going to like this. But I think like we see.
But was that Popcast's fault or was that Jack Harlow's fault?
I think it was the whole I think that was just always how it's going to be. I think that's how this album is going to be received, to be honest with you. I think the average white consumer is probably going to listen to this because they don't know where this comes from and be like, oh, that was cool and chill. Because black music and R&B is dope. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to be pissed off by the comments that he's made or anything like that.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. I think either way, it's important, like the whole race thing with Jack and tiptoeing the line and everything that you guys talked about is something we're curious about.
Yes.
And would like him to expound upon to see if it's coming from a sincere place.
Yes.
So would you have rather gotten the Popcast clip where he feels safe enough to say how he truly feels? Or would you have rather gotten a dialed down, code switched version on R&B Money where he just doesn't even say anything and he gives the safe PR answer and the album is then received better and people are like, oh, this white boy ain't so bad. You know what I mean? Like, what is better for everything? To me, it's probably getting the real answer and seeing Jack for what he really is.
Damn, and I agree with you because I feel like that's what people have been saying about Jack Harlow this whole time. Like, yo, this white boy not bad. Yo,
I'm not gonna
vanilla. Like, you know what I mean?
Vanilla.
Like, I've been tired of it, so I agree with you. I actually like seeing his almost like lack of knowledge
it's good.
on that podcast.
It is good that he exposed himself.
Right.
And I think that is a big takeaway from it. And that's the most important thing. I think I just hate the interviewers. And I do think that platform is just very pretentious to me.
It's very pretentious. But it's for a certain demo, right? Like, because you say they call themselves that, but at the end of the day, dude that is the A-Mike on that show has been a music critic at New York Times, one of the more respected, not cultural music publications, but on the grand scheme of the industry, a very respected print and then digital media source for like 40 years.
But then he's also the same guy who had the issue with Solange a couple years back when he was talking about her concerts and being like, she was basically making commentary on white people on stage. And when he was writing about it, he was like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Like not saying her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Basically, he was like, not saying like, he didn't say it directly. He's like, he was basically warning her, be cautious and use that sentiment. And then Solange is documented as being really offended by that and da-da-da. I didn't know that until I looked into it recently. And
I didn't know that either.
There's just certain things and certain questions and certain conversations that I don't want those people to have. And I think that when I watched their Bad Bunny interview, I really enjoyed it. And I think that they walked that line better. But I don't think they did it perfectly in this interview. But I do think, like you said, the overall takeaway was good.
Yeah, I don't really see them as, you're right. I don't, to me, they're comps to Anthony Fantano. Where like I'm never gonna click on an Anthony Fantano hip hop video. I don't care what Anthony Fantano has to say about hip hop. I don't care about the Popcast Jack Harlow interview or like the Earl Sweatshirt one was the one that I think really offended you, rightfully so.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Can you take off your glasses? Yeah, that's like crazy.
Like, what are we doing?
That's fair, but I think their Rosalia interview was incredible.
Yeah,
and I think that's more what I look for them for, interviewing the really heady like. Pretentious music.
Just don't
pretentious
talk to
interviewers
people.
For pretentious music.
Don't talk to black people or about black music. To me, I could be wrong though. Why I like Fantano more than them though, and why I think he's an interesting person in this media thing is because I do think that he's still a YouTube nigga at heart. So I feel like he doesn't take himself too seriously, and I get that not from his sitting down interviews that reviews that he does on YouTube, but like he does stream content. And like we'll react to music, you know, and there's like one listen reviews and things like that. And he is a bit more jokey and da-da-da. And like, I know that this nigga's actually listening to music. Like there is a track record, there's video of this dude listening to countless hours of a bunch of different music. And it is interesting for me to see someone who's not a traditional hip hop fan comment on the genre in a not like we've been saying, arrogant way. You know, like a better than way. You know, I like
you think that's what Fantano does?
Yeah, I really don't think. I think he's a harsh critic for everything.
I think his hip hop takes are incredibly pretentious.
But he also shits on his other genres like that too. Like,
sure.
It's not exclusive to hip hop, so
Agreed.
It doesn't feel like he's being pretentious towards hip hop. He's just pretentious towards music.
Exactly.
But I don't think it's like he's still a critic, yes, and he comes off more than like a Sean C or the other more YouTube-y like chill niggas that be talking about music. But I don't mind him as much as I don't like the traditional print critics.
Do you like critics doing interviews?
I don't like people who call themselves critics, and I don't know.
Or should critics stick to giving reviews and not interface with artists? Should there be two separate segments? Should there be interviewers, personalities, and then music critics over here and keep them separate?
I like the idea of a critic having a face and being someone that the people know. I feel like that adds more credibility to them. But I do think it might make you pander more and you might get less authentic ratings. But then I also think when people are safe behind people not knowing who they are, that might give them license to hate more. You
Yeah.
know, because it's like I could just say whatever the fuck I want, you know?
That's why I almost have a little bit of respect for the Popcast guys. Like they are annoying and pretentious, and I can understand how anyone that turns on the interviews is like, these guys are lame. Like I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like somebody that has this track record
Yes.
of all these reviews saying, okay, now I'm gonna talk to the artist. If you have something to say to me, we're gonna be on camera. Go ahead. You know what I mean? I don't know how they edit and like if they like protect themselves in editing, which they probably do. But I don't know. I kind of like somebody actually going to bat.
They talk like writers, and I think that's what turns me off.
That's fair.
I think that there's a way to have conversations with people and being like, I don't have to use the biggest word right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think that, again, it's like, it's not even dumbing yourself down or anything like that. It's like, let's make this conversational. You're not writing a piece. You're not trying to impress anybody with your words. It's the content. And it's not about what you're saying. Your question doesn't have to be all dressed up. It's more about this person's answer. And I feel like they ask self-fulfilling questions sometimes. You know, or like ask them in a self-fulfilling way, I'll say.
I'm almost like I'm like I've been ruminating on this idea that is like adjacent to the topic we're talking about, but I wanna take a swing at it because realistically, like I don't really love the Popcast guys, but I don't really look to like white media to talk about black music because I feel like black music, and this is actually the conversation that was going on Twitter all February, like. Black music specifically obviously stems from like the continent of Africa, but Black American music is popular culture.
Yeah.
So like in order to fully understand like Black American music, like being a Black American is such a lived experience. Like I don't really look to anybody that's outside of that experience to really explain and contextualize it in the right way, which is why I feel like a lot of other people come off as pretentious because I feel like there's always this joke on Twitter about, oh, this person invited to the cookout, this person invited to the cookout, whatever. It's like, bro, y'all making those jokes, but half the people you're trying to invite to the cookout wouldn't survive the cookout. You feel me? Like those niggas would get laughed off because it's like, I feel like if you don't have context, if you don't live in it, if you don't understand it like that, how can you really speak to it?
I feel what you're saying. I think that there's a conversation about reviews in general because I think you have to take them all with a grain of salt. Like at the end of the day, music is subjective, food is subjective, movies are subjective, like all of these things that people critique or whatever, it's just content for people to consume and their thoughts. You know what I mean?
But are you commenting on the production of the music or are you commenting on the context of the music and like the content?
I think
that's very different.
My reasoning for not having a big problem with white people's like writing these reviews or doing these things is like, I wouldn't mind a black person writing about white media. You know what I mean?
So,
I think we should be able to all just critique art in a certain way. And we have the understanding that this is not someone's lived experience. So they're not going to understand this the same way as me. And then you hope that when you get to a publication like Pitchfork, they have enough people on staff to where if you have someone writing about the Earl Sweatshirt album or whatever rap album or black art, you have a black person writing about it so they can do it the right way.
But if if popular culture, like we agreed upon, stems from the Black American experience, and pop music is also like part of that, then why would a black person commenting on just popular music in general be a different thing?
I'm talking about like some Sabrina Carpenter shit. That is not black people's lived experiences.
Sabrina Carpenter wants to be black. She brought out Earth, Wind, and Fire to her concert.
Bro, you can't make that statement.
Wait. I say I do have a question because I do think this is a really interesting conversation. I think it's totally justified to look to black people to comment on black music. Mm-hmm. Do you think you do that because the reviewer and the commentator can relate more directly to the piece of art they are critiquing? Or do you look to that because you can relate to them and therefore you might value their opinion more?
I would probably say the latter, although I would also say that, no, it's probably the latter because I was going to give it, I think that there's a lot of artists that are like dismissed in we're gonna have a whole topic about what's missing in music right now, right? Yeah. Which I have a whole other take on, but I feel like there's a lot of music in hip hop right now that is being dismissed because people feel like it's not up to par or whatever. But there's millions of people that listen to that music in the US and feel like that is top tier music. I remember having the Rod Wave discussion super early on this platform. I'm like, this is one of my favorite artists. And I'm not saying like y'all were dismissive of it, but I'm just saying like there was a whole different, like that lives in a whole different pocket, you know? Like
I feel what you're saying. But you're saying that music gets dismissed by these like white critics.
Yeah, they could never sit down with him, with a Rod Wave, for example. Do you think that?
I think the right person could. I don't think just any old person could. And I think Rod Wave is, if Rod Wave wanted to, I think that regardless of who he's sitting in front of, he could present himself in a way to where he's going to have a good interview. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you put any artist in front of any interviewer, I think they're going to still try to present their best self. They might feel more comfortable talking to someone who looks like them, sounds like them, all of that shit. But you know what I mean? If you're professionally trained, you're going to speak to whoever's in front of you.
But I think we're talking about the interviewer performance, not the artist.
Yeah.
I feel you. I don't think a white person, like when I go, because I watch the reviews, I read all of this shit, right? Mm-hmm. When I see a black person talking about rap, I just process that more intently. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is a perspective that I understand more. I'm more interested in what this person says. But now me as a music fan zooming out, I want to see what other people think that don't look like me. You know what I mean? Because they can still hear the music and have a connection to it and maybe even learn something from it. I think a lot of people hear Kendrick Lamar and things like that and learn about the black experience from him. Because I think that is someone who has chosen to go about doing that. You know what I mean? Through his music. Mm-hmm. I don't mind them giving their commentary on what they learn. I'm not going to put much stock into it. But it's still like, you know, they're entitled to their opinion.
So you draw the line more on like the personality or whether you like the person's take. Like you don't like the Popcast guys because like you just don't like their opinion on music.
I think
you feel like they're pretentious. But what does that mean though?
I think they talk like they know. They speak with so much like this is fact. Like I understand this. They talk like they understand it completely.
But okay, so here's the conversation. Spencer's actually right. They're very accredited journalists and critics, and they've actually spent time in the culture. Like there was a whole did you watch the Drewski interview where they talked about all the time they spent in Atlanta studying Migos, Yachty, like all that whole movement? Okay. They were living there. Okay. Studying, interviewing these people, having these people's first interviews. Yes. And you're still saying they don't understand. I would think that somebody that studies something would understand it.
But they can understand that they'll never fully understand it because they're not living it. You need to speak with that context.
And that's that's my point. That is so on the opposite of the argument you made last week about Atlanta. You said that like you were talking to a white person about Atlanta and their point was like, I will never understand Atlanta like you. So like, I don't think that we can derive the same thing from it. And you were like, no, it's just a show. We can get the same shit from it.
So you can have the conversation.
But that's
I'm down to have that conversation with you.
But that's totally different than what you just said about Popcast. Despite living in Atlanta and interviewing Migos and Yachty and all of them, you said they will never be able to understand, so you don't look to that.
Because I don't like them when they speak with arrogance, right?
Right.
So I'm like, the way that you approach speaking about music, right? Or speaking about black music, right? I have an understanding with you and you don't speak with such a like, I know everything, to where it's like, yeah, you could be educated about whatever artist when you speak about Gambino or some of your favorites, but you don't act like it's this, like, you know what I mean? You don't act like it's the same, I'm trying to think of the right
No, let me not put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you more so have a problem with the way they speak than their actual opinions. You would be more receptive to them talking to Earl or talking to any hip hop or black artist if their questions weren't so dressed up with so many big fancy words and this whole idea of like, because it does seem like they pull like really minute details out of the music and they're like, what about this?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just so much like, it's just too done up. It's not a conversation to me, and that's just why I don't like that.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
It is again, it's print journalism. I think I would much rather read their work than hear them talk about it. I think they can talk about black music because like you said, they've spent the time with the art. They've been around the artist. I think they've actually listened to the albums, you know what I mean? So I think they're intelligent people.
But you did say that they will never fully understand.
They will never fully understand it.
And that even though...
But that's fine, we could still talk about it.
I'm trying to remember exactly what I said, but if I didn't say that, that's what I meant. That I like to listen to black journalists because I feel like they live in the experience and they fully understand.
100%.
And that it might be a personal preference. Also, my bad, Sabrina Carpenter. You don't want to be black, but you are inspired by black music.
You feel me. I don't mind white people talking about it, but I am always going to look to the same as you, a black person talking about black music. Mm-hmm. But yeah, everyone can have a music conversation. I sit and talk with Spencer about music all the time. Right. I don't give a fuck about what he has to say.
No, because I'm super interested in this conversation because I have a podcast that revolves a lot around hip hop music.
You know what I'm saying?
But also in the past 4 years of however long we've done this podcast, I've tried to speak more about white music too. Because I'm like, I might be able to speak about this better. Yeah. Regardless of how much I love hip hop, like I know as a consumer, I'm not really looking for white opinions on hip hop. So I try to like make sure to keep that in mind when I give mine and find things that I can understand You know what I mean? Like
He about to dap you up.
I'm saying he's getting that's the point that I was trying to articulate about these other niggas. You know what I mean? I don't think they operate with that same level of like carefulness.
yeah, you got to be careful.
You know, just act like come correct, bro. Be respectful. That's
Act
all
like
I
you
ask.
know.
No way. Oh God. I hate you. Okay, last thing before we get off this though. Is there anyone that you want to big up in the music media space?
Nah, just us.
It's only us.
It's us, bro.
Watch our interviews.
It's big us.
Tap in with us for surely. Are we gonna go into what's missing? I'm bored right now with music. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I am someone who's always looking for new artists. I'm always looking for something just different to listen to, be it old, new, whatever. And I feel like I'm just constantly going back to older artists or older albums I haven't heard or anything like that. There hasn't been too many of the new young niggas that are exciting me. I see this artist like you seen that Slayer kid popping up. This nigga, bro.
Yo, that dude has money because this guy's on my feed every day.
Yo,
Right.
it's this stuff that's like, it seems like an artist will pop up on the internet one day. There's some commotion about them on Twitter for a couple weeks. Our Generation Musics and the blogs pick them up right before the album drops. They sit down with him well, shout on him well. And then I see footage from an LA show after their album drops. And it's wash, rinse, repeat, but I feel like no one's really like standing out as someone doing an exciting new sound. Are you guys feeling the same way? And this isn't just, I don't want to make this just an exclusive rap conversation because I haven't even this year seen a Geese, you know, like we had last year, or like just any new artist, like a Chapel Roan. There's no even pop artist that people are talking about right now to me.
I will say before we get all the way into like what we're missing in terms of what you were talking about, there's 2 albums that I haven't loved, but have been like, interesting in that space specifically. The first one was the Xavier So Bass album.
Okay.
That came out a couple months ago. I'm not playing that a ton. I'm not going to sit up here and act like that's been in my headphones. But when I listened to it, I was like, there are some really interesting ideas here.
Yeah.
And there are some songs that I go back to a lot. The other one is the Netspend album that just came out. I can't even lie. The intro to the new Netspend album is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I sent you the dude that produced it because I'm like, yo, this is like some godly production. A lot of the other songs on the album were absolute trash, like some of the worst things I've ever heard, but there were some really high, and like I'd almost rather big swings and big misses than just like,
But I listened to Xavier So Bass and I clicked around the Netspend album after you put a song on a weekly rotation. Make sure to go get that. And I'll even say the same thing with the Slayer album. What's cool about specifically Slayer and Xavier is that they're producers themselves.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of the beats and stuff like that. And you can hear that in the music. And I think it just feels like I've had the same conversation about people the last 5 years where it's like, oh, the production on this is really cool. I see what you're doing. You guys are trying to push this sound forward or whatever, but it doesn't stick on a major level to me. And I feel like Xavier's been around for a little minute. Net has dropped now 2 projects, and it feels like this was the one that followed up the first debut that didn't really necessarily crack off like I think it was supposed to. Like,
yeah.
None of these guys are necessarily seeming like they're going to stick, and I don't want to put a label on them too early because these guys are super, super young, and I think like putting pressure on them to be these fully developed stars right now would be stupid, but I don't know. I just want to know, like, what are the exciting sounds? Like, you just saw Drake just posted that girl, Sabrina Spyro or whatever, who's been around for a little minute too. It's funny how Drake really, do you think the Drake cosign is really crazy still? Like, do you think that girl is gonna do something after that?
Drake is just co-signing random white women and yeet.
Yeah, because Julia Wolf wasn't anything crazy to me. I do like I think this girl has a stronger voice than Julia Wolf. I think Julia Wolf just doesn't necessarily make the music that I love. But yeah, she wasn't even that super
Julia
crazy.
Wolf makes Twilight music.
Yeah,
you will never like Julia Wolf.
That was not.
It's even a little dramatic and emo for me.
But I like to push the conversation back a little bit. Like, you guys are covering underground artists right now. Is that what you're really listening to?
No. Okay.
Got it. Because you were in a very underground conversation, and I feel like we don't cover that on this podcast too much. So I was listening to y'all, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really given any of those things a thorough listen. Shout out Net though from Richmond. You feel me, bud?
I mean, it's just the only things that, because Miles asked what's exciting, you know, and to me, I think I've been pretty critical of that whole scene on this pod. But lately, those 2 artists, as well as Fake Mink, I have been listening to more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily what we're missing, though. Like, I still don't think that, like, Fake Mink's next album is going to stick in the way Geese did or pop in the way Geese did last year. If you're talking about just overall music landscape, something that's going to be innovative and have like a major splash.
I agree. I was talking about the underground just because I feel like that's what gets pushed as the next generation. But what I think is really missing right now, bro, hot take. I think we need an adult guy or girl group that is really, really like something that everyone could get behind. Like,
you ain't listen to Cat's Eye?
Exactly. That's K-pop to me. I can't. That's not all the way. Like I'm almost gonna say like we need an adult guy or girl like R&B group.
You don't listen to Flow?
Flow is the Tiny Desk was great. I want to love Flow. I want to love Flow. I really do. And I think that there is something there. I think they have great collaborators. I don't think it's all the way hit for me. They're British. I don't know if that's a
Why'd you say that like that?
Because I feel like it's not like they don't got the. Let me not even hate. There's something missing for them right now.
Got it.
I don't know what it is, but I do think that would be very exciting. Something that would top the charts and maybe get more people excited too if it's something that is clean and not overly explicit. I don't know. Do you think that would shake up music at all? Do anything?
I'm moving off your music take because I got nothing there. I don't.
You don't think that's what do you think is missing? I'm saying, what do you think could be added?
I think that there's nothing missing in music right now,
bro.
To be honest.
So you think everything is you got good shit in your headphones that's coming out now?
I think two things. One, I feel like we talk about this all the time. The music space is just there's so much volume that you need curation. Like I agree with y'all. Nothing really came out this week. Monica was the biggest drop and we all didn't like that. Mm-hmm. But realistically, especially like even 10 years ago, like we weren't getting this volume of music every single week. We're getting music like content and you need people to sift through that for you and suggest things now. There's a lot. If there's, I don't even know what the number of songs coming out per week is, but there's no way that music is getting worse if you're getting more of it. And I also think that we don't need new artists every single year. I think we should be supporting the ones and we should be supporting the projects that were great. Like I think I literally like I don't know because I wasn't there, but I would assume like I don't know 90s 2000s like well I was there, but I would assume 90s 2000s like people were just supporting artists they already knew. People were not necessarily like, oh, I need a new song from an artist every single week. They were really just listening to old music.
I want to totally agree with you because I think it's a product of the era. This conversation is totally because of what's going on, right? Like the cookie cutter, microwave, social media era when. Because how are we having this conversation when in the last 60 days we've gotten a great album from Don Toliver, a great album from Baby Keem, a Bruno Mars album that you said could be the best in his catalog. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are spoiled thinking that we're going to get a fucking classic every week.
But those are already when I'm saying this.
Okay. So let me make my second point.
Finish.
My second point is I don't think we're giving artists enough time. And I think that's because in previous decades, what was a first album wasn't a first album because you had to go push your mixtape, 5-6 mixtapes, get the ability to do shows, get signed before you go put out an album. Yes. So we're not giving people enough time because you know who I really think would fit in this conversation? Somebody way bigger than a Net Spender or Fake Mink. I think it's Two Hollis. I think Two Hollis is in a position to this year actually drop an album that would be more like his debut album that could be incredible. It could be chart topping. It could be dope, critically acclaimed. It could be culturally relevant. Like, I think this could be his year.
Yeah, and the way that he skates across genres too, like he could be a really big artist.
And that's why I said what I said. Because I think that my issue and why we were bringing on underground is because I feel like there's so much new music, like you were saying. There's a million things getting pushed to us, but just because it's more music, it's a lot of the same shit. It's a lot of people operating in the same sound. I want someone who's doing something left. The Two Hollis shit is going back to that early 2000s, like poppy. I don't even know how to describe it. You know, I don't know what their contemporaries would be, but like
303.
He's jumping into something that niggas aren't doing right now.
Yeah.
That's why it's appealing. But a lot of these other young niggas are just rinse and repeating the same plan.
Yeah.
And it's not bad, but it's like over a certain point in time, like I expect the Brunos and the Don Tollivers and all these people who did give us really good bodies of work to give me those albums. You know what I mean? And I'm still playing them every day. I'm listening to them, obviously. But I want new, exciting people too.
Yeah.
I should be excited about a bunch of new artists across multiple different genres. You know what I mean? I want to have someone in rap, someone in pop, someone in whatever. You know what I mean? Last year, I didn't expect to like the Geese album. But that shit became something that I was actually putting in rotation. I want someone like that.
But okay, so what I would say is Geese, like, that was their third studio album.
Okay.
after mixtapes. Like
Yes.
while they're young,
Yes.
like in 2022, they dropped a critically acclaimed album that Anthony Fantano gave a great score.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think you're just so tapped into hip hop that you're looking at artists that are too small. Because the real contemporary to Geese would be somebody more like Hollis, even though that's not hip hop. It would be somebody more around already a million monthly, already established to people
So
in the hip hop
besides two Hollis,
community.
though, who else is there?
That's what I'm trying to think
You
about.
know what I mean? If we just have one.
No,
What
but
is your question?
who is actually like? Let's not reach to baby artists. Like who are artists that have a couple bodies of work that could drop an album this year that's massive?
Because what you did, you made a good point, because I love the Kehlani thing.
Yeah.
Kehlani's an already established artist, been putting out a bunch of great projects, but she feels like she's had a renaissance with these last couple releases and this new direction that she's moving in, because she's really handpicked her collaborators and crafted a new sound for herself.
Yeah.
So I'm down for any artist that's doing that is more established. I don't know who's doing that necessarily right now, because they might still be in the works of doing that. So we might just need to wait.
I am trying to think, because I'm trying to think about the perspective of somebody that only listens to like indie music, like doesn't listen to hip hop, except for the big albums.
Yeah.
Like who's somebody that they wouldn't have heard that could drop a massive album that's so big it crosses over to them?
But what's big in the indie space too? Is there a cool new indie artist that we don't know yet from this year?
Lamb.
Don't do that, bro.
Oh,
Don't
no.
do that, bro. Don't do
Oh,
that. You
no.
know what I mean? I feel like I'm not just having a hip hop exclusive conversation. I feel like this is across the industry. I haven't heard buzz about anyone new this year. And that feels a little strange to me. Now we just finished, we're down here about to finish the first quarter.
Yeah.
Is that not like no new artist buzz at all? Or am I tripping?
I want to say you're wrong, but I'm drawing a blank. Don't have my phone either, so.
Who is somebody? I feel you, and I will get back to this, but I want to stay on hip hop because I know there's somebody between Don Toliver and Netspend. I know there's somebody in the middle that is more poised to like really have a massive year.
I mean, it's probably Ken
Black
Carson.
Boy Max?
Ken Carson, but I just don't believe in the music. Like I don't find the Ken Carson music to like really move me.
Okay, so.
But that's the right size.
Here's the
That's
interesting
the right
conversation.
size.
We're just going to talk about the underground, I guess. Here's the interesting conversation about that form of music. I completely agree with you. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that comes out there where I'm like, this to me is not my favorite. I don't like it. I also feel compelled to say like it's not good because I think there's so much volume and I think the production usually carries, and these artists are so young that they're just coming out and just saying anything on tracks. But Ken Carson has been around for a while. He's been building up his touring base. He's over in Europe doing some cool shit. Like, I don't know if the next Ken Carson album is going to impact me, but I do know that Ken Carson has the potential to be that bigger artist that you're talking about. I think he's, actually, I don't know. But I would put him a step below Yeet in terms of his fan base.
Who's bigger, him or Destroy Lonely?
I was gonna say, can we switch
Probably
Ken? Can we switch Ken with Lone? Because to me, if we're talking about Destroy Lonely, that's actually a great answer. Because he's already been opium in the hip hop space. Somebody in the indie world or in the rock world hasn't listened. But I think to me, I just enjoy his music more. So I might be biased, but I could see him dropping an album this year that could be huge and crossover if he locks in right.
He
like
has
Destroy
more
Lonely.
crossover appeal, and he has had like big records, or at least one.
Ken has bigger records though. Ken has more big songs.
Damn, for real.
Yeah, because SS is, I think that's Daniel's biggest song.
I mean,
right?
it just, but to Spencer's point, he does kind of live in a pocket, whereas Lone could really.
I
do
think
the
Lone is
crossover
better.
thing.
Yeah, Lone is going to be bigger than Ken. I think if someone were to do it, it's probably Two Hollis, Destroy Lonely. Other than them two, I'm thinking just in a different lane, in a different pocket. I do think, I'll say this. Samara Sin, while not my favorite, if she could get the right project together and maybe get a song that goes, I think there would be a significant push behind her because I think she already has a good organic fan base, and I think she has a message that people are going to want to push and support. So if the stars aligned right, I think she could maybe. It is hard coming off the heels of a Doechii moment, but I think that could maybe work for her.
Oh, so you're looking for an artist that had like a Doechii type year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
Doechii is the hip hop example, like of Geese, like where it's like boom.
Like who would be the best new artist nominees this year, so far? In any of that's basically the conversation.
But we're in the first 3 months.
Exactly.
I want to have this conversation, but I feel like it's so early.
It's early.
But
And
who could do it?
that.
Like you said, Lone or Lone or Hollis. If either of them drop great albums, they could get nominated for best new artist.
I mean, yeah, and then like the right answer is Q. I think Q could do it when he drops his project.
There you go.
Someone in a new space.
There you go.
Who else? That's really it. I don't know who else.
I mean, you bring up Kehlani, and that's somebody that's. I'm not trying to say her, but like she's obviously been making music for a long time. But I think we're more on the right track with somebody that's been in the game for a while, might have had a hit, but hasn't like really exploded.
Someone who found their dream collaborator. Someone who just linked up with the right person who's going to unlock something in the musically. You know who I think might have a big year?
Who?
And I don't hate the new song, Malcolm Todd.
Ooh, go ahead.
I could see that whole chest pain moment and putting out his debut last year. And I think there were strong moments on it, but I don't think the project was all the way there. But I think he's just moving in the right direction. I like that he's been consistent dropping too. I could see him maybe getting a bigger moment with a new album this year if he chooses to drop.
Somebody else that I think obviously has had like smash hits and been around, or one smash hit and been around the game for a long time. So I don't know if he really fits in this conversation, but I think could be like a really big star is Bakar.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like somebody that hasn't fully broken yet, but like with the Bieber collaboration, if he's working in that camp a little more, like I could see that. I could see him finally breaking on like a major scale.
Yeah, and then not for nothing, like we're saying too, if we're not going new, like I know Odile is familiar to us, but I think maybe this year with a full-length project, he could break over into the mainstream.
See, I think we just need to reframe the conversation a little bit. It's not these baby artists, because we can't expect somebody with 100,000 monthly listeners and 2 projects out to like change the world.
And I think it is dope to zoom out too, because I don't want to say I'm tired of the Odile conversation, but we've beat that conversation to death. But there's people who still haven't heard that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that is that new refreshing thing that's still building. He dropped good albums to end off last year and is probably working on a new project. So
he could get best new artist nom.
Yeah, we could come at it from a more positive
I would say
perspective.
even like from an R&B perspective, just based on voice, like Elmine too.
Yeah.
It was actually interesting hearing Jack reference him in the interview.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that, but I was like, oh, interesting. Like people are really like tapped in and like really like working with him.
Elmine's a supporter of him. Like they fuck with each other heavy. That's why again it's like, bro, I thought you was better, Jack. You disappointed me.
Somebody else that's more in the Too Hollis lane that could have a massive year is Nina Geraci. Like I've been a lot more into her music lately. She might be a little smaller still. She might still be developing, but really, really great dance music, dance pop, hyper pop crossover. I could see some of these songs being played on the radio.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, to be honest.
You got to listen to the weekly rotation.
I was trying to do the back and forth and then you just cooked me, man.
My bad.
Nah, I do. And I think I bring up these types of conversations. I want to have these conversations because I am just interested in greatness. You know what I mean? We came up listening to, we started off talking about the Kanyes of the world, but even the hoes, like, you know what I mean? And outside of that, Beyonce, we've seen her whole career, Rihanna, like, I want superstars, you know? And I do want to talk about projects.
Yeah.
Because I think the most important thing for any of these people that are looking to establish themselves, or for someone like Kehlani, she's had dope singles. What is the album like?
Yeah.
What are some of the most impactful albums to you of the 2020s?
Can we rephrase that to not be impactful?
Yes. I just don't want to, yeah.
Because I feel you, but I like that. We fight when we ever have that conversation.
Because I don't want, best is so hard.
Why?
Best is so difficult because I want to mention a lot of albums because The Crown won the best of the 2020s. I mean, you know, you can tell me what the best album is.
I'm just gonna ask it that way. What do you think the best album of the 2020s is so far?
He went into his promo mode. You see that?
I know, no. He felt it. I didn't. I couldn't do it off the lob.
Because I have an answer.
You go.
I was listening to it this week, front to back. I'm like, this is like a 10. This is an artist that is one of the greatest of our generations. This is an artist that is one of the greatest of our generation.
Yeah.
To me, After Hours by The Weeknd is the best album of the 2020s.
Ooh,
I had a feeling you were going to say that. That's a good answer.
That's a really good answer.
That album is
super strong
I think
answer.
that's my favorite Weeknd album. When I go back to it, I know he has classics, but this is one of them.
Wow.
Top to bottom. There's so many. Blinding Lights is the biggest song in Spotify history.
No.
4 billion streams.
No, The Weeknd is one of one.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, because I think that if you want to talk about other people who have had Billboard success, there's a few, but the volume that he's also put out, like every album that he puts out is huge. And then the 2020s, it seems like he just spent this whole time cementing it.
Yeah.
You know, the pop stuff was established. I think that album was him kind of perfecting the sound too.
But it was still dark. It was darker than Starboy.
It was darker than Starboy.
It was poppy but dark.
And I think that's what got the critics as well as the charts.
Right.
That was the perfect mesh of everything. I think doing the Super Bowl halftime too really made that impactful because now you have a visual for everything too. Did he fuck it up? Nah, he didn't fuck it up. He didn't fuck it up.
What, with the TV show?
Yeah, with the TV show.
No, The Idol?
Just the mystique of this moody The Weeknd is now ruined by this crazy, I don't know.
He lost the mystique, but he had it in 2020 still.
He had it in 2020 and that album is great.
That's the real him, though.
Can I?
Yeah.
It is definitely real him.
Right.
Nah. I mean, so I don't want to have the Kendrick argument, but there are people who are going to do that.
What album?
Yeah, what album?
Mr. Morale?
That's the only one he dropped in the, I mean.
GNX.
I don't think GNX is. Do you think? Am I tripping?
No.
Right? I don't think GNX is regarded like that by many people.
I think it's probably a coin flip.
It's
if you
a
ask
great
Kendrick
album.
fans which one is better, GNX or Mr. Morale?
I guess we've lived longer with Mr. Morale, but I want to ask, I'm not saying I'm going to put it there, but do you think it's in the conversation?
It's in the conversation, but it's not on my short list.
I think it's just too many. Not even that I can poke holes in it. It's just it was so not trying to be for everybody. You know, it was an art piece, it felt like. So I don't think he was trying to appeal to anyone. I'm not going to give it that.
It is an album that gets better with every listen, though. Like, the more I go back to it, the more I'm like, he's really
The
fucking
songs
good.
I love on there, I love.
The whole album plays
You
well.
know what I
the
mean?
whole album actually plays well, though,
And
is
again,
what I realized.
it's a dope art piece.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just for someone to tell that story, and like when you look at him trying to execute a point, I think he did a great job at that. That's the Pulitzer prize winner. In it,
Right.
you know?
I mean, I wouldn't feel good about having this conversation if I didn't bring up Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy.
That's the sleeper pick.
Yeah.
That's a sleeper pick.
But
for
it
sure.
shouldn't be. But it shouldn't be. Massive hit with Bad Habit. And then just all around great album. And I feel like there were more big songs. I feel like Sunshine was a kind of big song.
I'll stand on it. I'm looking through right now to see if there's anything that I disagree, but I think that's probably my pick.
Gemini Rights is?
I'd probably pick Gemini Rights as my 2020s pick.
I
mean, it's early. Where does the Bad Bunny album rank? Is that in the conversation?
Short list, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
For what that did in terms of a worldwide connection,
For sure on the short list.
that should be up there.
I totally agree.
Ooh, Afrobeat,
Um,
Essence. What project was
Was that
on?
Wizkid?
Made in Lagos. That was on Made in Lagos. That
I was
album
gonna say,
was a moment.
yeah.
Did that get in the... I feel
I'm
like that's
checking it.
2018.
2020.
Oh!
2020.
Made in Lagos can play.
Damn, that's kind of wild. I thought it was earlier, which is why I was confused.
Yo, that's his best project to me. If there was, and I don't know if I'm speaking
for
crazy,
Sure. No, that's best.
if someone were like, I've never heard Afrobeat and I want to understand the genre a little bit, I think that might be one of the best first examples.
I'd probably give them a Burna Boy album first.
Oh,
to be honest.
just the amount of
I
hits
like
on
Burna
here.
Boy. I like Burna Boy over Wizkid.
I was
to be
going to
honest.
say, I might be biased, but I would take Love Dominique
You
over
take Love-
Made in Lagos. Personally.
Yeah.
But I'm not as big of a Wizkid fan as you.
Guys, that's crazy.
They're both
Yeah.
great albums.
When did African Giant drop too?
Earlier.
That's 2018, I want to say.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's up there though.
That's one
up
of his
there,
best
though.
I mean,
albums.
Love Dominique is last. Plus all great track list.
Oh, guys,
Huh.
SOS?
Oh,
Right.
that's
SOS?
SOS is short list.
That's what I'm saying.
That might be my pick.
You have the phone. It's a cheat code. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah, and I won't argue with y'all over the summer, even though, you know, I love her.
The last summer album?
No, not the last
okay.
summer album.
I mean, this is, you guys are tired of hearing this take, but I'm putting Atavista by Childish Gambino on my short list.
that's great. I love that.
I love that.
I respect that for
Sweet
you.
Thing with Summer Walker is a perfect song. That's a top 10 song of all time.
Are we putting any Playboy Cardi albums up there?
The only one we could, I guess we have two options.
Yeah.
The conversation to be had about a whole lot of red.
I think a whole lot of red would make a lot of people's lists. I don't know if does it make ours though. No, be honest. You know, we can be honest here.
It's
And
not
so-
making my list.
Rock with me. Best. I think there's a conversation to leave it off. Most impactful.
Yeah,
Every young rap album is damn near trying to be like this. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure. I mean, Playboy Cardi changed the whole shit. He changed the whole sound.
If I'm saying the most impactful album of the 2020s, it's probably A Whole Lot of Red.
I'm not mad at that.
At number one though.
At number one, what's been more impactful to their genre than that?
what has been more impactful to their genre than that?
I just don't like this conversation as
I
much.
just feel like I have not even listed that many albums, so like I can't say no to what you're saying. The way you phrased it leans more. It's a leading question, to be honest.
How is that a leading question?
I feel like it's a leading question because first, don't have my list in front of me, so I'm like thinking off the top. But second, too, it's like there may be other albums that are more impactful to their genre, but like we're so in that world that we see that.
Okay,
like,
it doesn't even have to be just impactful to a genre, just impactful in general.
Yeah, I would put that up there. I'm just hesitant to put it number one.
Is there anything else that is even in the conversation? There's no other album that I even put in that conversation. Impact?
Bro, but like, see, this is why this conversation is annoying. Because you have to fully understand a scene to be able to see what impacted it. So I think the only conversation we can have is within hip hop.
Nah, bro.
Because you don't know who influenced the Geese album, and neither do I. But like,
What you mean?
You know what I mean? Like, there are so many other genres where we cannot speak to even like what impacted where the current scene is.
But you see it on all of the way that these young kids are dressing with the all black and all that shit.
Because this is
All
our
these
world.
streamers.
We mostly live in hip hop.
Bro.
I'm not gonna argue with you. Whole Lot of Red, most impactful album of the 2020s. You got
do
it.
that. Don't do
But
that.
can we go back to the best
You
conversation?
just want a clip.
Nah,
You just
bro.
want a little clip.
I'm not even trying to get a clip. I'm just saying that's a fact, bro.
Okay, but is it on your best list?
I'd put it on my best list.
You're missing the one that I was counting on you to say because it's not on my list.
What?
You're not gonna talk about V's?
I didn't. I think you guys were going to say mean things about me. You
I
guys
think
were going to be rude.
So you're backing off your point.
No, I'm just like I don't feel comfortable in this room talking about V's. to be
Is
honest
that a
with you.
top 20 or is that a top 5 album of the 2020s for you?
Wow, yeah, because it's better than the Cardi album.
Oh, but you know what I'll put over it?
Ooh.
Oh, you're gonna be mad. My turn, little baby.
Oh, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Oh, and I knew you were gonna do that, but you're just hating because it really is.
I'm actually not mad at my turn.
How by Lil Baby is incredible. I really respect that album. I really, really respect that album. But if you're giving me the license to talk about this, V's smokes that nigga. Bodies that album. Bodies that album.
But you always want to talk about like how music is heard, like if shit's ringing off, if it's impactful.
And
It was more impactful. If you
And
want to say
streaming
more
and TikTok numbers,
if you
and
want to
the
say,
V's really didn't
that's
have
why.
any
If
of
you
that.
wanted to say, if you want to say my turn was more impactful
To the scene
you're-
that V's is in, actually.
No. If you
Yes.
wanted to say my turn was more impactful, 100% agree with you. 100%. And it's not even close. Best, V's was way more innovative, more creative, more unique, something that I think is going to push the genre forward. I love that album more.
Okay, Popcast.
But that's my opinion.
Literally.
But that's my opinion too. If someone said, that's also the thing with like the V's thing. I don't think his impact has been big enough like a Playboy Cardi to where I could justify if people are like, oh, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like if someone was like, oh, I don't like his mumbling, like I can't really listen to the lyrics, this isn't for me, I'm not gonna fight you on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Cardi has gotten to the point where he's undeniable, so I feel comfortable talking about that in a certain way.
I think if we're gonna include a new age rap album on the best of 2020s list, it's my turn. I think that's a great shout.
I think that's probably the right one.
hits great front to
The
back.
commercial viability of it,
Yeah.
like that was a big album.
I'm gonna put Getting Killed by Geese in there.
Yeah,
I am. I'm putting it there.
it's just so early.
So
Why?
funny.
You put Bad Bunny on there?
early, but it's different. The global impact.
So
you hate
funny.
that word impact.
I do hate the word
But that
impact
word
because
impact-
you use it so selectively.
Why? I just said that you were right with the Lil Baby thing.
All right.
You know what I mean? I didn't fight you.
He did.
I
He
didn't
did.
fight
no,
you
you
at
did-
all,
you did
bro.
good, you
What are
did
we
good.
talking about?
I'm talking about best and
Geese did not make a big enough impact. I'm
Geese
saying
made a
that
huge
the-
impact.
It made a huge impact.
it made a huge impact.
Were they even
Fuck
nominated?
it. I'm putting the
for-
Cameron Winter album on there too.
Wait, I'd actually like to make a point here.
What?
This is pretty funny.
What?
Because y'all claim to be Tyler fans, but y'all have not said one Tyler album.
I don't like Call Me If You Get Lost like that.
Damn.
And if Igor came out in the 2020s, I would have said Igor. I like Call Me If You Get Lost. I think it's great, but
Call Me would make my
It's not
top.
top- it made
Call
my
Me
top-
would
yeah.
make my top 15.
Oh, yeah, Igor
Same.
came out 2019, right?
18, I think.
Came out, yeah, I definitely tripped acid to those visuals, bro. That shit was crazy. No, I literally saw the earthquake video. Just that shit was scary, bro.
I believe it. I believe it.
Those were college days. Actually, no, I didn't do that. That's a joke.
bro, Tyler's an interesting conversation just because like it feels like personal preference a little bit.
Yeah,
Like you could make an argument based off the,
Call Me.
you know what I mean, based off the statistics and the tour and everything. Like if that's your bag, but I just don't think. To me,
Would you put Alfredo there?
Oh God.
we're having the best conversation.
Fair. Sorry, my fault, Freddie Gibbs.
I still have mine. Yeah, no, not top 5.
You know what I'm putting
Not top
above?
5.
You know what I'm putting above Alfredo? That's also not top 5, but is so underappreciated. The Jay Electronica album, A Written Testimony.
That was not 2020s.
It was 2020.
brother,
It was COVID.
brother,
It was
brother.
COVID.
He
It was
wanted to be a
COVID.
5%er so
It was, hey,
bad,
I will
bro.
bet you
He wanted to be a-
$100 that was 2020.
You got to get him the Kangol.
I'll bet you $100 that was
It was
2020.
2020.
I know. I was in
You
lockdown.
don't play that album, bro.
I do.
You don't.
I
You don't.
I just am so shocked.
How many songs is it?
12 songs.
10 songs.
Close enough.
How many songs is Jay-Z on?
A lot of them.
Fair.
That's so stupid. How many songs is?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, bro. It's like the fact that we got like a Jay-Z collab album with Jay Electronica, one of the most mysterious and skilled rappers of all time, and it just kind of flew under the radar, was criminal. That's a great album. Travis Scott's on that album. Why don't people listen to that?
I don't think Jay Electronica was ever getting spins like that, to be honest. In the mainstream.
That's fair. That's fair.
In the mainstream.
I can't even disrespect the album because APIDTA is one of the few songs that will make me cry every time I listen to that.
Bro, it's such a good album.
That is one of the best songs. One of the best songs of the 2020s. 1000%.
Yeah.
That song alone might make me almost want to agree with you. That shit is fucking incredible.
When did Renaissance drop? When did Honestly Nevermind drop?
Renaissance.
Brother.
Put Renaissance in it.
Brother.
Renaissance is a great
We
pick.
was tweaked out. Yeah, Renaissance is up there.
yeah.
I
Renaissance
put
is
Renaissance and Honestly Nevermind up there.
Yep.
I'd probably go, all right, Miles Hagen, top 5, final list. I just put it together in order. Gemini Rights, number 1. Number 2, Ganger by V's. Number 3, Honestly Nevermind, Drake.
Yuck.
Number 4,
This is nasty.
Renaissance, Beyonce.
This is so gross. You don't listen to any of these albums.
Number 5, I don't listen to V's.
That's the one you listen to.
I don't listen to Gemini Rights.
I don't think you really listen to Gemini Rights.
And that's the problem with you, Mr. Steve Lacy, man. You think
What's
you know
number 5?
everything.
What's number
5?
Say something stupid. Donda.
No. Bad Bunny, Debiter Ramos photos.
Nice.
Bad Bunny.
Okay, off top. 1, After Hours. 2, Ada Vista. 3, SOS.
Oh no, I forgot SOS.
You fucked up. 4, A Written Testimony by Jay Electronica. And 5, give me Getting Killed by Geese.
Damn.
No, give me the Cameron Winter solo album, Heavy Metal.
Those might be 2 of the worst lists to ever hit the internet. That's crazy. That's crazy. We can't clip that even. Hey guys, music's in a great place. We were all wrong.
Right, it's good to remind us that there's some
really good
because
music.
I be getting bored and then I'm like, yo, I need to bookmark this list.
I'm a
Let
little
me go back
spoiled.
and listen to fucking Renaissance. I don't listen to that album enough.
We're spoiled, but I also listen to mad music. So like I just be like getting bored of some, like I play albums to death. Like if it's like there's weeks when I'm like, okay, I want to play this album like 10 times probably.
Yeah.
You know, not back to back to back, but this is just in heavy rotation, and then I'm like, I'm off that for a month now. So I forget about it.
Don't forget, go listen to Jay Electronica this month.
We just
last
gotta
month.
get back to music feeling like an experience again.
Yes.
I think that would help. I think rollouts have gotten a little lazy just because it doesn't feel like they're as well thought out because the internet moves so quickly. But I really feel like I admire, I don't love Tyler's music. I admire the way he pushes music. Kanye always has pushed music in the craziest ways. I feel like people that are building experiences around their music will always win because you are embedding memories in people's heads and you're making them remember you. You know what I'm saying?
I also think, and this might be a little bit less true with Kanye though, but with Tyler, I feel like he's very calculated with how he's perceived and seen. So the only times I feel like you see him is when he gets to do the whole spectacle. or when he does the rollout. Because I feel like if he's not in that mode, he kind of lives a private life. Like you might see a picture of him riding his bike around LA or whatever, but he's not like out and about doing like being in the club and shit like that or talking on podcasts or anything like that. And I do think that a lot of these niggas, like, I just see too much of you, so I almost get bored of you. You know what I mean? Or I just hear you say something that pisses me off and it's like, I'm off you now. You know what I mean? Or just like the court of public opinion is so difficult with people nowadays. It's like, I just want mystique back with artists. You know, I want this shit to feel like it means something to them a little bit. You know, like they have an image and an artistic integrity that they want to protect. Because if they're kind of just like, I saw Jameson talk about this. He's like, we're in this weird day and age where it's like you almost have been encouraged to just shitpost and just
beyond encouraged. The only way to get resources.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like we've preached that mentality to artists for so long. You know what I mean? Where it's like content, guys. Like make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're doing that. But zooming back and taking a step out, it's like, yeah, that is the actual real effective ways to get out there. But like, it sucks. Like it kind of damages the art to me sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is why I've been saying what I've been saying about music, and will kind of like sometimes when I'm just thinking surface level, we'll have a negative opinion on what's going on today. Because it feels like the art has been cheapened sometimes to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the real, I mean, we're going to have this conversation again, but like the way to like kind of circumvent that is almost like, I don't think TikTok is as easy, but like, I feel you got to build up engagement in other places.
Yeah.
The more like, I was gonna say D2C, but that doesn't make any sense. But just like more like fan engagement platforms like Discord and shit like that, Twitter, like build it up there and then like move it other places. Because Instagram's dead, bro. Like you post on Instagram, like half your followers don't see it until a week later. You know what I mean? Like that shit is weak.
And and the consumer is kind of the problem too. Like we're so used to content and being able to like see people that we like, comedians, podcasts, influencers every single day making new content, that I think we've started to expect that from our musicians. You know what I mean? Like we got a great body of work from Don Toliver, and the conversation up here about it was, where is he? He needs to go get out, be in the spotlight. You know,
that was his conversation.
I know, but like I think we're part of the problem because I go back to Tu Hollis, somebody that hasn't been posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me think of him for this conversation, but because he's been largely absent since he dropped Star. I think over a year ago. I think that was 2024, but I could be wrong. But you know what I mean? Like we need to allow artists to do that if we want to, because he has that mystique, because he's not out here shit posting. He wasn't an influencer first. The first time you heard about him was through the music. The music's great. He has a visual identity. We just got to be patient and give people time.
And I want to like also say that make sure to pop out when you're supposed to. So it's like with the Don Toliver conversation, it's like, I'm not saying he needs to be out here all the time, but it's like when you just drop an album, when the shit is fresh.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
would expect you to do the thing. That's why we were big upping Tyler. It's like Tyler is not seen 24/7, but when he has something to promote, he's actively pushing it.
No, you're right. That was
all I'm asking for from Don Toliver.
That was an unfair reach about Don Toliver. You're right. We can expect artists to do press when they're on an album cycle.
The one thing that's kind of funny about Don Toliver, though, sorry to derail this, but like I just feel like I gotta say this. Like I feel like every time he does pop out, the internet clowns him.
True.
I don't want to say it.
When you have a
he's not the best looking guy.
My thing is like, recently Don Toliver has been in love, so he's been seen with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as someone with a beautiful queen, you know what I mean? Sometimes when she's looking right and it's a comparison thing. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta pop out solo.
You know what I'm saying? When you see Don Toliver looking like he just left the store and you got Cali done up to the nines, it's hard, but like that nigga could have just been taking care of the baby.
Right.
We don't know what Don was on. We don't know his lived experience. The baby could be in the trailer.
They were saying that he looked like a Oompa Loompa.
They said he looked like a germ.
Guys.
and that hurt my feelings for him.
Yeah. Sorry. We're not trying to roast you. We're fans. And we're just trying to figure it out for you.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That is probably what scares niggas off, because this Slayer kid that we're talking about, all I see online is niggas calling him fat. Niggas say he makes burger music. And I'm like, it's crazy. Niggas were talking like this nigga was 19 Gunna, bro. And then like, have you went back and seen what they were doing to Gunna?
Yeah.
Reading those comments back today was crazy. This nigga will post a regular fit pic. And the comments would be, I bet you was thinking about food in this. Hungry ass nigga. Niggas would just comment 50 burger emojis, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Say was probably on takedown duty at the time.
I was there.
Delete.
oh, it's disrespectful what we doing to these niggas. We gotta just be kinder, maybe.
Yeah, kind, patient, grace, all of that.
You know what I mean? We're gonna have positive viewpoints on this platform always, man. But I think we did it.
Yeah, wait. Oh, you know who could also have the year that we're talking about? Going back to the previous conversation. I think Lil Russell is heating up.
Yeah.
Epstein is heaven sent too.
Yo, Lil Russell.
Adolf was heaven sent too.
Yo,
Donald too.
This is... No one has ever needed to take a microphone away from somebody so bad. And the fact that you prefaced all of this little freestyle that you got, and if you haven't heard Lil Russell's freestyle, don't look it up.
Yeah.
You're doing good without it. He prefaced it as, my engineer told me not to do this. Don't drop this. Everyone's comment is like, listen to your engineers, people, please. Why would you put out the Heaven Sent Epstein song?
Bro, and I am clearly not black, but I felt upset, embarrassed, enraged that he went Malcolm Martin, Epstein, Adolf, Donald. Like, I was like, what are you doing to your own people? Like, why are you setting it up like that?
I think Lil Russell needs some soul searching.
Yeah.
I think Lil Russell needs to get back in the booth and just think about, what do I want my career to be? What is my legacy? Because over the last 2 months, some things seem to have gone haywire. This is why you don't get around Rock Nation. I'm sorry. No, let me not even.
Whoa, we love the Rock here.
Oh.
Throw it up.
Sign to the Rock forever,
I think the lights
bro.
are just too bright, to be honest.
The content game is backfiring. We're seeing it in real time.
Hey, bro, if you're corny, bro, and you get that spotlight, bro, you still gonna, you know what I mean? You can't hide that. And Lil Russell is always gonna be that. But he's gotten too much time on our podcast now. We've talked about Lil Russell in 2 episodes. Never again will we speak about Lil Russell.
I love that we segued immediately from you will only get positive opinions on this platform to yo, fuck Lil Russell.
You know what I mean? Who
Peace.
brought up Lil Russell, bro? Yeah. Peace and blessings, man. Shout out the Bay Area. Thank y'all for watching, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yep.
Catch y'all next, man. Peace.